Hello everyone, thanks for being here. I've been having a blast hearing back from all of you about the results that you've been getting and some of the questions that you've had. You've given me some great ideas on how to be able to move things forward. I know that right now we're dealing with weight loss. There are people out there that have back problems and knee problems, shoulder problems, and digestion, elimination issues, and some people that are working with other issues that are involved with the aging process and some of the things they'd like to see that they can work on. And I look forward to sharing some of those with you every week. So we'll take a little bit of time and we'll answer some of those questions. So we're going to be primarily, at least for the first couple months, working to help people lose weight and develop their physique in a way that they'll be able to do that, comfortably. But Christine, you said we had some good comments today.
Yeah. I gathered them, like I said I would, and brought them with me. The first one we're going to go over is the balance bar. Some people are, taking it apart and having to store it without the balance bar. Can you show us the easy way to do that?
Thank you. I'm going to bring this over here a little bit so you can see this here is our standard balance bar. And I'm going to move this back a little bit. But I want you to be able to see how to take this off. Now, people have asked me, how do you put it on? How do you take it off comfortably or easily? And the way I do it is going to be a little different than the way some of you may be able to do it. What I do is I just lift the unit up with my foot and I just push down on both ends so it comes right off. Some of you are going to have to put it on by hand, take the rubber tips off and pull it off or put it back on just by lifting it up and doing the way that I show it on our website. So if you go to Cellerciser/Cellerciser/care and maintenance, you'll find it on our website, and it will actually show you how to put the bar together and how to take it on and off. But this is our standard balance bar. I'm going to introduce you to our new streamlined balance bar. That one, you can see the difference. So it's the same height, but it's more narrow. So instead of fitting over one leg and skipping a leg in the middle, we actually can just use two legs. And it takes up a little less room on the Cellerciser, so that affords you a little more movement. But if I take the rubber foot off of one leg to the right of the hinge, go to the right of the hinge, there's the hinge, then go to the left of the hinge, take another rubber foot off, and then you're just going to take the bar, begin to slide it over the legs. Now it's only going to go on a little bit initially, so you put it on a little bit, then drop it down, and then just stomp on it. You're not going to hurt the unit. Then put the rubber feet back on. And you're ready to go. And when I take it off, you can either lift it up and take the rubber feet off and pull it off, or lift it up with your foot the way I did and just kind of drop it down. But that's our new streamlined balance bar. Gives you a little bit more room to do more movements. Okay, Christine, let's answer some more questions.
Thank you. Okay, our second question that I'm going to talk about is the oiling. And any questions? We've got quite a few about that. I know we have a video out there about that we can refer to as well. But talk to us a little bit about that.
Thank you, Christine. I get that a lot. Number one, you have steel rubbing against steel. And when you have steel rubbing against steel, it's going to squeak until you put a drop of oil on it. Now, initially, you've got edges in the pins and on the spring that rub against each other. So those edges can be a little squeakier initially. They're not for me because I know how to oil it. You put a drop of oil at both ends of each spring. Get on it, jump on it a little bit, and then do it one more time the first time. What happens over a period of time is the oil and the steel rubbing against steel, it begins to polish and smooth down the steel. So my unit is no different than any of the units that you purchase from us. It's the same unit. But I want you to listen, as I jump on it, I want you to listen to how quiet it is. my feet are squeaking, my shoes are squeaking. But other than that, listen to the unit. It's whisper quiet. So you can get up late at night and you can exercise and do the different movements without worrying about waking somebody up. But it takes a little bit of time to break it in. So don't be discouraged as it's doing that. And if you have to oil it a couple times, depending on where you live and how humid it is, you might need to do it a little bit more. We're up in the high desert. It's very dry, and so we don't have to contend with the moisture as much, because moisture can take it a little bit longer to break in.
Okay, all right. The privacy of our group, the Cellercising group, that we actually have increased dramatically, and it's been fun to watch what's going on out there. So,
Christine, you know, and with the Cellerciser, I'm going to move that up. Sorry for so far back. Okay. With Cellercise, with me, it's always been about family. It's always been about not just selling the Cellerciser, but about helping people get results. We have several questions coming in. I'm looking forward to answering as many of those as we can tonight. But with each of you, you want to reach your greater health potential. You want to be able to deal with an issue or a condition. I've been doing this for 30 years, working with doctors and health practitioners and physical therapists, and I've developed techniques that I teach doctors and health practitioners now that have been very effective in helping people to address those particular issues. But that's between family. That's not with the whole world. I don't know a lot about Facebook. I didn't grow up in this culture, but I'm learning, and Christine, fortunately, is helping me to understand Facebook a little bit better, and we were able to privatize it or make it so that we can keep your questions, your concerns, the things that you're looking for assistance or help on within our community, within our Cellercise family. And so that's one of the reasons we were happy to be able to make it more private, and I hope that's all right. It's not about, I want to help the world, no question. I think everybody, every single household needs a Cellerciser. They just don't know it yet. So I do have a motivation to get people aware of what the Cellerciser can do for them. But most of that, quite frankly, is coming through you. And when you share it with people that have weight loss problems or stress problems or digestion, elimination problems, or back problems or weight loss, whatever the case may be. And I thank you for that. And I'll continue to do what I can to get it out to the public in as big a way as we can without compromising your trust and the things that are important to you. So.
Perfect. People are talking about the app.
Oh, the app. You know something, I'm going to warn you right now, if you are thinking about making an app, you might want to think twice. I started this 7 years ago, and a great many of you have been saying, David, is this real? Are you really going to have an app? Or are you just stringing this along? And, you know, this is only for my family, the people that are here right now. I'm going to show you that we are this close. We had this last week, when we redid some of the graphics so they were more acceptable to me, that they got mixed up in the description and the actual movement. And so tomorrow I'm going to be heading back to our engineers, and they're going to be, I'm going to be showing them, well, no, this goes here, this goes here, but I'm going to give you a flavor, just a little idea of what we've been working on. So yes, you know it's real, and yes, it's coming, and this is something you can put on your cell phone, you can put on your iPad, you can put it on the television or your computer. We've actually got a little holder that will fit on the balance bar with your iPhone, so you can have it right there and do these different movements. You can get a stand similar to what our iPad is on right now, and that stand will allow you to set it a little ways away from the Cellerciser, and you'll still be able to go through your routine. We have over 30 pre-made exercise routines, and so just to know, it's real. If you go, this is on my phone because I don't have another way to show it, but that's the app right there, the little Mr. Rebounder logo. And when you hit on it, it's got a beginning, intermediate, advanced, senior, or create your own. So I'm going to go to the advanced right now. we'll pick one of the routines. They go anywhere from, well, on the advanced are 10 minutes and above. But at the beginning, you can start at just a couple minutes. But when you hit this, you'll see you have a start button. You'll be able to pick a male or a female graphic, and you can exercise with. I've got it set to a male right now. And you can take any one of these routines and clone it. And then you can go in and say, hey, I like this movement, but I want to do it longer. I want to do it shorter. I want to add another movement. You can literally take a pre-made routine and create your own. So we filed a patent on this, and we actually got the patent before we ever got the app completed. So, but if you hit, you see on this particular routine, we have all these different movements. Oh, yeah, now you can see it. We have all these different movements. David. And then you go to health balance, and you hit over on the side, it will show you the health balance, and it will give you a description. I can't see it in this screen. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's an actual description here. There you go. Okay, so it gives you the description of what the movement is, and it does that with all the different movements. And just to let you know, if you hit start, it gives you you can pick your own background. We have a music library. This is a default one, but you can pick, different kind of music that you want. This is showing just the beginning movement. Now if I fast forward, I'm just going to go through. This is them on kicking out side to side for the waist and the hips. And then you've got the breathing one. And I'm just fast forwarding the twist. So the different movements that we teach. The running, that one's a kicking out side to side. And then kicking out behind you. Oh, okay. That's a good one. That's one leg, and then you switch to the other leg, and it goes on and on. So we'll save some of the rest for later, but that kind of gives you a general idea of that. Yeah, I expected to be, we wanted to have it this week, but some of the descriptions got mixed up with some of the movements, and so we're just waiting on that. And we're looking at it, launching it unofficially, probably, I'd like to say the end of this week, but let's say the beginning of next week. And then we'll make a big official production and introduction to what this can do for people later in the month. Or in a couple months. But we'll have, you can create your own library of different routines. And it's going to be priced very, very, very fairly. In fact, I'm hoping we can do it. We want to price it for an entire year for $49.95. I don't think that's too much, with 30 plus routines. I want to make it affordable for everybody. So we're actually going to have an introductory offer that you're going to be aware of for $29.95. The first few weeks that we have it available. So again, we want to make it affordable. We want everybody to have access to it, and it's there to teach you to stay active and work through the routine. And it's version 1. We'll have additional versions, and we'll have additional ways that you can share the different programs as we continue to develop it, and we'll add more modules and more movements as well.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, we're going to answer just some of these questions, kind of go through them quickly. How many minutes per day do you recommend for middle-aged women to have weight loss?
Okay, good question, great question. In fact, one of the things I want to talk about again is not really the amount of time. You can do it for a long period of time, and that's fine. It has its benefits. But it's the intensity. You want to increase oxygen into the bloodstream. You want to use the biggest muscles of the body, and you want to do it in a way that you start to really burn calories and create a need for fuel. And the Cellercise, when you do movements, you build up to it. We start off just gently bouncing up and down. That in and of itself is going to increase metabolism. Breathing in and out is going to increase oxygen, which also increases metabolism. Doing the gentle twisting motion is going to improve digestion elimination processes, which can also make the body more efficient in helping to lose weight as well. And then doing the jumbo walks, what we talked about in the first episode of this program, the jumbo walk, how to open up the bronchial tubes in the lungs, and how to build up the knees so that we can do the jumbo run. We run in place, we jump side to side. We want to use the biggest muscles, but you start off very gently. We want to increase capillary circulation. We want to strengthen the supporting muscles and ligaments around the knees so they retain more fluid, and so that we can do some more of the aggressive movements. So it's a gradual process. And when you start off too hard and heavy, it can actually set you back a little bit. So I tell people, don't work out, play in. You don't have to work hard on the Cellerciser, play on it. It works on you. And as it does, you'll just naturally be able to get more and more intense. Because it's fun. The moment you get on the Cellerciser, things change. You have to get on it. But once you get on it, and those of you who know this, once you get on it and you get going, it's different. It's fun. It's easy. Now you can stay on it. You can enjoy it. And there's a lot of different movements you can do. So the approach is going to be different depending upon where you're at. And if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Good.
Perfect. Okay, would the Cellerciser be beneficial for someone who has a droopy face and loss of muscle tone on the right side? Okay. If so, what exercise would be the best?
Good question. Okay, first of all, the Cellerciser doesn't favor one side of the body over the other. It creates balance in the body. If there's nerve damage, there's not a lot we can do other than increase circulation to promote as much healing and regeneration as possible, that circulation is critical for that. And it stimulates as well. So there's a lot of stimulation going on through the gentle movement up and down. Every cell is expanding, contracting. It's weight bearing, so the collagen has to become more resistant to the weight. So everything starts to firm up, it starts to balance itself on the right and left hemisphere of the body. To what degree that will happen if you've had some kind of a condition or a stroke or injury, it's going to be dependent upon how the body adapts. And we don't know. But we do know that, and I believe, there's nothing better than getting on a Cellerciser to help promote that circulation and brain activity and nerve responses than Cellercising.
Okay, next question. What are some good isometric movements that I could do to remove broad back fat, relieve low back pain, and tone the arms and chest? And they're asking about your mat as well.
About the mat?
Yeah.
What about
They want to know where to get one.
Oh,
so,
by a mat will not work on any other because of the sizing. We have the tridactyl spring and the sizing of the spring with the mat. We have replacement mats. I mean, there are some people...
I meant the rug. I apologize.
Oh, the rug!
I apologize. That's my bad.
The first part.
Okay, so the isometric movements for the broad back fat and relieve low back pain and tone the arms and chest.
All right. One of the techniques that we show on our classic DVD, the one we did over 20 years ago that looks like it, but still has a ligate compression on it. It comes out with every unit. It's going to be a collector's item someday, I think. But it's to take your hands, clasp them together, pull apart, kind of arch your back, pull apart while you're bouncing. You're going to feel it all over here. And then when you're pushing in, you're going to feel it all over here. So you're pushing in, count to 20 while you're bouncing it down. Every 2 bounces counts as 1. So you have 40 bounces for 20 to the count of 20. And that works the whole upper back area. Again, pulling apart and pushing in. There's other exercise movements that we demonstrate on Cellercise, the ultimate exercise, where we've got over 20 different techniques that I teach more specific to what you might want to accomplish. And they include these isometric movements from tightening behind the arms and different areas of the body.
Okay, Matt, did you want to talk about
yes,
that?
let's talk about that. Oh, okay. Guys, we've been getting a lot of comments on the mat. And I had that custom made. And I've got people right now that, because it's not cheap quality. I don't want cheap. It's got a really thick, heavy duty, grippy rubber mat or bottom that you can put on the wood floor or on carpet, and it just holds up. But it's thick, it's heavy duty. Nobody's going to want to pay $800, $700, $800 for a mat like this. And so I'm in the process right now of looking for someone who is able to produce these in a way that it's affordable. So I'll keep you posted. We do literally have, right now, we have people out there looking for people that are capable of doing this. And if you know somebody, you want to send this to somebody that actually produces them themselves. I don't want to go through a third party, but I'd like to go directly to the manufacturer. That way I can give you the best price also. If you know anybody, if you send this out, I give it to the Cellercise family and see if you can look at it too. But I have both domestically and internationally, I'm looking for some options. So thank you, Christine.
Okay. All right. After eating, must you wait before Cellercising?
Well, a good rule of thumb is 20 minutes after. When you eat and then you start to move up and down, it bangs it against that little sphincter muscle in there. And if you have a weakness in the digestion processes, all those acids and everything bouncing up against the sphincter muscle, probably not a real good idea. I've done it, and I've done it for years, but I can't recommend it. I've been, knock on wood, lucky so far. It hasn't really created a problem for me. But I don't know if that's going to be the case for everybody else. So, yeah, wait 20 minutes. It's probably better. If you Cellercise first, I think that's even better. Because that balances blood sugar levels in the body. You're going to eat probably less because your body's not going to need as much. It's got other fuel sources that are now been activated.
Okay. And diet, do you have any suggestion for, you know, people are wondering, what do you eat that, and besides jumping, so.
Diet is one thing. I mean, I eat. I mean, I'm not, it's more what I don't eat. I don't eat a lot of junk food. I did, and a few years ago I started eating more live foods.
And what is a live food?
Oh, live foods, vegetables, live vegetables, fruits, wholesome grains and nuts. I consider those live foods. They have more enzymes within them. The body can utilize them more readily. The dead processed foods, those are the cooked processed foods, they have less enzymic activity. It's harder for the body to digest and utilize those nutrients. The body only has one of two options. When you eat, it can either store the calories in the food from what you eat, or it can burn it off as fuel. The biggest meals, and I mentioned this in our first session, the biggest meals should be eaten early in the morning because you're going to be burning that all day long. If you eat a big meal at nighttime and you go to bed, then your body's not burning it. What's it going to do? It's going to store it. And that's, so it's better not to eat high caloric foods at nighttime, but smaller meals. And I do, you know, I usually have, almost every night I take some yogurt and some granola, and I take some frozen fruit, and I mix it all together, and I eat it. That's a nice little snack before I go to bed, and helps me sleep better anyway. But that's a good rule of thumb. Eat like a pauper or at nighttime, like a prince in the afternoon, and like a king in the morning. You want to eat your biggest meals in the morning. Okay.
What benefits are there from the Cellerciser for someone with Hashimoto's thyroiditis?
Well, Cellercise, we don't have any research on that, but what we do know, and I've had written testimonies from people that have been able to drop back on their Synthroid because it does stimulate thyroid activity as well as the ability of the body to absorb the drugs that they have taken. But the movement up and down is doing this to every single cell, including the thyroid. So it's not just living in a static existence, it's moving up and down. And when you're moving up and down and being exposed to G-forces, the thyroid itself is being massaged and stimulated. And so, again, Cellercise, I really believe, is for everybody because it's helping to improve circulation, communication, and performance of body parts and functions.
Okay. This person's been following the routine and experiencing swelling in their knees from an old ACL surgery. Any suggestions?
Absolutely. With the knee issues, Cellercise won't cause the weaknesses, but it will expose them. And if you have a weakness and then you want to back off and evaluate what you're doing on the Cellerciser and start gradually to build up. There are specific movements that I teach that are designed to strengthen and even restructure the supporting muscles and ligaments around the joint. But it takes time. It took me, and I've shared this with people before, it took me 2 years to build up my knees and my back. So it can take some, but I didn't know what I was doing at the time. Now we do, and so I can help guide you much faster through that. But even when I ripped my knee up a few years ago, on the meniscus, because I'm a pretty active guy, but I ripped it up in a couple places, horizontally and laterally. And the doctors all said, oh no, you need to have surgery. I would bend my knee and you could hear it, and see it pop out. And I went to the doctor, one of my customers, and he said, oh, don't do that, because I was bending it and it was popping out. He says, don't do that. I said, well, what, can you pop it back into place? He was a chiropractor too. I said, no, you need an MRI. So I went and got an MRI. They did this, they reviewed it, and they said, oh, you're going to need surgery. And they had, they see lesions in the tears from previous injuries. And I said, so they healed? And they said, yes. Well, why wouldn't this heal? Oh, that's too far gone. Well, I wrapped it, and I continued to Cellercise. The same thing that I teach my customers to do, the exact same thing. 1 year later, I was on Fox News, and I've been doing all my exercise routines and building it up again. And so I did my little, you've seen me do this probably. I stuck my leg out, sat down to the ground, and then stood up again. And no problem at all. That's a knee that supposedly I was going to have surgery on. I'm telling you, we have got so much more potential in our ability to heal various different conditions than most people realize. And that's one of the reasons I'm here. So.
Okay, we constantly keep getting a question on lower back pain. Just what are some of the, keep it simple, but maybe a couple of quick little,
okay.
What are the best techniques on the Cellerciser for that?
Yeah, I've been there too. It's amazing. You know, 7 years after I began Cellercising, I had a whole new body. They say every 7 years, you've got a whole new body, some parts many times over. I literally went out to dinner and celebrated 7 years. I've been doing it 7 years. I've got a whole new body. I certainly felt like it. So we're constantly replacing cells. 80% of Americans we're told are going to have lower back problems to contend with. I was one of them. I teach specific movements in the DVD, Cellercise, the ultimate exercise, that are designed to open up the vertebral joints in the back, to increase circulation, to imbibe the disc with more synovial fluid, so we can take pressure off the nerves and increase back flexibility. I welcome you, if you've got a Cellerciser, take a look at that video under back exercises. And if you don't have the video, it's worth getting. It's got 2 hours worth of information. It's packed with over 20 different techniques specific to what you might want to accomplish. So we deal with knee issues and hip issues and back issues and shoulder issues and digestion elimination issues and weight loss issues and sleep disorders and opening up bronchial tubes and lungs and the natural facelift and tightening and toning and muscle building and a good deal more. So it's called Cellercise, the ultimate exercise.
Okay, perfect. This person said, big butt and thigh, I've tried everything. What can I do to get rid of them? How long till they are gone?
All right, get ready for this one because it's intense, and I went through this myself. I didn't have a real big rear end, but I lost mine completely doing the Jamba run. The Jamba run is very, very intense. It increases metabolism and it burns calories. And so you don't start off with the Jamba run. Start off with the Jamba walk. Let's build up the supporting muscles and ligaments around the knees. And again, if you have any health condition, and I'm obligated to tell you, consult with your doctor. Or have your doctor give me a call. Let's develop a program that's safe for you to begin with. And I'm happy to share with you what I teach doctors as well, so you can consult with your doctor. But the Jamba run is, as we've been doing now, we're getting ready for it.
Here we go. Let me move this so they can see you.
Okay, I'll move this forward.
Okay.
I've said it before, and those of you who've tried it, you know what I mean. The Jamba run, we developed a lovely relationship with it. We love it because it works. We hate it because it's tough, and you got to get kind of psyched up for this one a little bit. So I usually do it at the very end, because if I do it at the beginning, I can't do anything else. It's gone. But it's done by keeping your back straight, your feet flat. So you want it to be in this position here. And you just run as fast as you can without lifting your feet up off the mat. Now don't start off doing this, but start off with the jumbo walk. The jumbo run is done like this. You're not even lifting your feet up off the mat, really. They're just barely coming up, maybe. But it's right next to the mat. These muscles are big. They're going to use up a lot of fuel. You want to keep your back straight. If you lean forward, it takes the weight off the thigh and puts it on your back. Your back's not doing anything to burn calories, but your thighs are. So that's repetitions of that movement. Increase metabolism and burn calories. All right, Christine, how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Tell us what's happening with you.
I met one week for the weekend and didn't get to take my Cellerciser with me. I have to tell you, I actually missed it.
Well, that's good.
And I actually went ahead and we decided to get a bigger car so we could take it with us, because the car we had wasn't big enough to take us all.
That's a good thing.
And so, right?
Get
But I
a
did.
car for a Cellerciser.
But I have noticed in what I'm doing, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. I have more energy than I could have ever dreamed of having, especially with some of the things that I have that just keep you constantly fatigued. But I haven't been losing a lot of weight, but I have noticed my clothes fit better, okay? And some people are like, oh, I gotta lose the weight. Okay, I really want to lose the weight too. I get that. But I'm really excited that the clothes that I'm actually trying to fit into are fitting more comfortably, and I feel better in them. So I'm excited for the next step.
Okay.
So, tell me the next step.
Let's talk about that. I want to comment on your, because what you just said is very, very common. The inches can be going down, but the weight may not necessarily, because we're replacing the fat with muscle, and muscle weighs more. And so as we increase and we build up more muscle, our ability to lose fat also increases. And Cellercise is weight bearing on all muscle fibers, all protein fibers. And so as we build up all the protein and muscle fibers in the body, our ability to harness those muscles and protein cells become more effective. And so metabolism goes up and our ability to lose weight goes up too. So keep doing it. You're working, it's working just the way it's supposed to be. And your energy level going up. Guys, in 2 to 3 weeks with most people, the mitochondria in the cells start to increase. Your energy levels start to soar. You begin to feel like a whole different person. That's well within the 30-day trial that we give for the Cellerciser. So within those 30 days, you're going to know, you're going to feel it, you're going to experience why this is probably going to be, as it has for me, one of the best friends that you've ever had. So, all right, so
here we
show
go.
us what you're doing right now.
Okay, so I've been doing the, and I do that every
Listen
day.
to that. It's not really...
No, it's not, and I've noticed that I don't cough as much. We're in the cold here.
Yeah.
Not as taxing, so I appreciate that, especially we're at a high elevation.
Yeah.
Really helpful for that.
Good.
And then from there I do the walk,
Jumbo walk.
but I actually have gotten faster.
Yep.
So I've been really excited about that. And then the baby bounce. So that's kind of where I've had, and you had me go a little bit faster. So. Okay, so what can I do to
so
maybe get things a little more exciting?
Right. We're going to add to that the twisting every day.
Okay.
Where we have the feet spread apart a little bit.
Okay.
Lift the heels up and down. Do the gentle twist while
So
you're
you're
gently
just lifting
bouncing,
the
just
feet?
like that. Yes.
Okay.
Good girl.
Now I had somebody ask me if you could have me help demonstrate the jumbo run or the jumbo walk, and making sure they wanted to see where the feet placement was. They were kind of not sure if they were doing it correctly. So.
Okay. Well, let's put that down. And okay, so with feet spread apart, bend at the knee, keep your back straight.
Okay.
There you go. That's critical. You don't have to lean back on the bar.
And I've noticed that if I do this, there is no pressure right here.
Right.
But right here, you get a little bit of the burn.
Yep, you get a lot of the burn.
Yeah.
You really will. Yeah. Okay, so with your back straight. You're going to left, right, pushing down into the mat. Just very good. Look at that.
Okay.
All right, keep going.
That's it. Yeah. Just get faster. That's it. Yeah, that's it. All right.
Now you're doing the okay.
How long?
20 seconds or how long before it, you know,
you
don't want
Overdo it so that you're going backwards. You don't want to keep going so you can overdo.
Well, on the Jamba run, it's once your knees can handle, once you've built up the muscles and ligaments supporting the knee, and those muscles get stronger and firmer. What you're doing initially is you're working from the inside out. So you're getting the capillaries and the circulation to respond to the demand. And that's what we want it to do. We want to, that's why the Jamba walk is important. So we want to keep doing that, especially as you're warming up. But at the very end now, if you feel strong enough and it feels good, and you can go from the Jamba walk, where everything's getting warmed up, capillary circulation's improving, we want that, so we don't pull anything. And then now you can start to do the Jamba run.
Okay.
And so
for the routine, keep the breathing thing going.
Yes.
Okay.
Oxygen.
Okay. So I'm going to baby bounce for 2 minutes.
Okay.
I'm going to do this.
Right.
Okay.
For the count of 8, 9, 10.
Okay. Right.
Whatever you count.
And how many repetitions of that? I've had people.
Of the breathing?
Yeah.
1.
Just 1. Okay.
Normally
because you don't
one.
want to get out. Okay.
Right. You don't want to.
Oh, what if I've been doing that?
Advance a little bit later.
Okay.
But for right now.
Okay. And then maybe at this point, before I get into the Jamba, get tired, do the twist.
The twist.
And how long do I do this for? A minute?
Yeah, you can do it. Minute's a good amount of time to do that.
Okay.
And just gently like you are. You're on the mat the whole time. You don't torque. You just gently twist while you're moving up and down. So the colon and the intestines and the liver, kidney, spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, adrenals, all those internal organs are being massaged as you also help to loosen the lower back.
Okay, so as soon as I'm done with that, do I come back to the health bounce afterwards?
You can come back to the
if
health
you feel
bounce.
like you need it.
You bet. And
Okay.
for those people who are dealing with sciatica or other issues, some of the people that have had great benefits, and again I have to say consult with your doctor, but if you lift the heels up and down and do the twist, but keep your hips straight ahead. Lift the heels up and do the twist in the hip socket area. Can you do that?
Okay, so let's see.
Keep your hips straight ahead.
I don't know if I can do that.
Yep. There you go. That's it.
Like
Yes.
that?
Yep. And come up and down as you're doing it with your heels. Yeah.
Like that?
That's it.
Okay.
That loosens up the hip area. And that's real important to keep good circulation and get rid of the stress and the tension, but strengthen, loosen and strengthen the supporting muscles in the hip. So that was it.
Okay, so then if I need to baby bounce in between, I can. Then do the Jamba walk if that's where you're still at, or I'm going to try 20 seconds,
Okay.
bounce.
And you can do repetitions of that.
As for whatever I feel like I can. And then end it with the baby bounce.
Right, always end with the baby bounce. So gentle.
And about 2 minutes of that is good at the end, or?
That's plenty.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, alrighty. So I think that's
All right.
I'm excited for that.
Good. Okay, let's.
Okay.
We want to take a look at any questions? Or
I think we've answered a lot.
Okay.
There'll be a lot that are coming. I think one that's been being asked is, we talked about having like an iPhone thing for the app.
Right.
Will it be on Android as well?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll be available on Android and iPhone.
Android's easy. Apple's been more challenging.
Okay, so that's where our holdup comes.
So.
Right.
Yes, that's
Okay. And so there are some questions on there. There was one question I thought might need to be relevant. It's an issue that I have myself. I know that it's kind of is more common in elderly people. We're going to talk about elderly really quick too as well. So there's 2 last things here. Blood thinners.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about that just really quickly. I have had about 20 clots enter into my lungs, so I have pulmonary embolisms, and I will be on blood thinners the rest of my life. We call myself the lifer. And so just, you know, somebody had had that concern as well. Where does that rest with?
Real important you consult with your doctor or health practitioner. Cellercise helps eliminate sticky blood cells. Okay, it helps to separate the blood cells, so it thins it out, so it's easier on the heart, it's easier for the body to maintain good circulation. It can also break down blood clots. That is good, and that is also serious. So that's something. The movement up and down, it's like taking a bunch of water with. I used to talk about this. You have a jar of water with a bunch of dirt clots in it, and you walk it around all day long like this. you know, go to sleep with it at night, wake up in the morning, and walk around with it. Dirt clods are pretty much going to sit there. They're not going to be doing anything.
Right.
The moment you do this, you're going to start to break up the blockages, open up the circulation, the entire body.
Okay.
So, real important to understand that Cellercise can be your absolute best friend, but it can also be your absolute worst nightmare if you're not aware of what's going on in the body, because it will open up circulation.
Okay, and I had visited with my doctor, and he felt that I was at a good enough stage, that it was safe for me to do that. So I feel good about that on my end. I just wanted other people to hear about that.
Good.
We also had a comment that came on about they've got one for their 94-year-old mother. She's been quite sedentary. She's on a walker. So what's the best way to introduce, you know, if you have aging parents that you're taking care of, to get them more active and mobile? What's the best way to introduce them? What's kind of the very best techniques to start out with so that they're not overwhelmed and overdone?
I'm going to get on it for a moment and kind of talk about that, but helping them get on and off of it is going to be the challenge. And it's just helping them step up and helping them step off. The moment they're on it, they can grab the balance bar. Now that the smaller balance bar has a little more stability, it's designed to still be loose. You pull it toward you, it tightens up. We want it that way. If it was tight all the time, then you become dependent upon the bar for your balance. But with this loose, you'll find that you put less and less weight on the balance bar as your balance personally improves more and more, and it's a natural process. So you would get her on the Cellerciser first and start off like a baby starts off when they're in a crib. Just gently. If they can just gently move up and down, that's going to challenge their vestibular balance. It's going to be challenging their proprioceptors. Balance, rhythm, timing, dexterity, hand-eye coordination all starts to improve as we do these different movements and we move up and down. So increased circulation, improved balance will improve. And by the way, balance is so important, and we often think it's age-related. Do you know anybody born with balance? It has nothing to do with age. They're physiological functions. We can improve balance at any age. I have a lady who was featured, and she's on our website. She was got on the Cellerciser 3.5 months later, and you probably heard me talk about it. She calls it the Seattle Times newspaper and says, "You've got to get this information out to the public." Seattle Times had no idea what she was talking about, but they asked her, "How old are you?" And Ruth Mary says, "I'm 94. They said, "Where do you live?" So they went and interviewed her and put her on the front cover of Section E of the Seattle Times newspaper at age 94, sitting lotus style on her Cellerciser telling her story. I didn't know any of this was going on. She sends me a copy of the article though and says, you know, she's telling me I really ought to use this to help bring about awareness. But she also goes on to say, "I really think this saved my life." And she goes on to say that since the printing of the article, the Seattle Times had more requests for copies and duplications of that article than of any other article they'd ever printed. Well, we have another lady who heard that, and not to be beaten, she got on the Cellerciser, and within a year, she was jumping on it, she was lifting her legs on it, she was doing jumping jacks, what I don't recommend on a Cellerciser, but doing all these various different movements. She talked about how her vision improved, and a number of different things. She was 95 years of age. So we have and I've got pictures of both of them. And so it's not age-related as much as it is we need to challenge the body. And as we do, our body starts to improve again. So movement up and down is how we begin. Just this. And so you can stand there while she holds on to it, moves up and down. She's challenging balance. She's opening up circulation. She's helping backflush the valves and increase oxygen blood flow to the brain. So you want to watch her, because an increase of circulation can make people a little dizzy when they start off. But it's just gentle moving up and down. And then real gentle, standing there, second movement, rocking side to side. You're still challenging proprioceptors, you're challenging your balance and equilibrium, but you're also working now your hips and your knees and your thighs, the supporting muscles and ligaments, which are so important as we're getting older, so we don't lose that. And then as we're working the knees and the hips, we can just gently bend at the knee and walk in place. We'll get to the point where we can do that. And then the gentle twisting motion for all the kidneys and liver and kidneys, or the spleen, gallbladder, pancreas, all those internal organs. And then gently moving up and down again. So you can do any 1 or 2 or 3 of those movements depending on where she's at and what she's comfortable with. But the objective is we start challenging our brain activity up to 90% of it. That's huge when we're moving up and down, because the body's got to regulate its balance in all these different positions. And so that's all going on as we're stimulating the brain. We've taken people that have had strokes, and they've helped to retrain their brain while they've been moving up and down and doing these different movements again, just like a baby is training their brain when they first start off in the crib. Same principle, they stand there and they bounce up and down. So I hope that helps.
How long? Like if they've been real sedentary, their muscle tone's really, they're weak.
Good.
Okay.
It may be just 10 seconds when you first begin. That's a long time when you first begin. 1,001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 seconds right there. So, and then you see how you feel. I might feel a little dizzy, or I might feel okay. If you want to do a little bit more, okay. And if they want to do a little bit more, do a little bit more. Just watch them while they're getting these benefits. Drink lots of water, because if we start getting rid of toxins, poisons, heavy metals, back flushing, opening up circulatory channels, drinking lots of water helps the body to flush out those toxins, poisons, and imbibe the different tissue with fluid, which is important.
Okay, so I think that's going to be probably it for tonight. If you did ask a question, we didn't get to it, it will get answered. So don't think that we won't answer your questions. We'll make sure that they get answered. And we'll see you again at 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time next Monday.
And if you have questions and you can't wait until Monday, feel free to call the office. The number is 1-800-856-4863. And, you know, again, like I said, we're here 9 to 5, Mountain Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Our objective is to help you. Thank you so much for being part of the family, for all of your input, for all of your support, your kindness, and we look forward to hearing more about results and challenges that you have. Thank you.
Thanks.